All right, episode 2, Power Full Force. Man, yo, Jannard just dug himself into a grave because every time when you look at Jannard, he's like, he has the the business that he has to do with Miguel, and then you have him giving money to the Serbs, and the Serbs was just like, listen, you're gonna be giving us money every single week until you give us those projects. I was like, shit. Like you look at Jannard, and then when you see like in the beginning with Diamond visits Jannard, he's just like, listen, you don't have the manpower. I don't think you should like go to war over some guy, right? Like forget Chewy, this and that, and then you see like Jannard's subordinates come along and they telling him they like, so what's going on? What about that Tommy situation? And then that's when Jannard is just like, well, you're gonna have to dead that situation until I tell you to. So they all pissed off about it, like this isn't right because he killed Chewie, and then I mean, look at Jannard. He's kind of stuck. He's like, what they consider it, like I guess like a slave with two masters, and he's stuck because it's either you going to die by the Serbs or you're going to get killed by Miguel. So he's stuck, right? So I was just like, well, when you look at that situation, there's nothing for him to really do. And then you see him getting assistance from his girl Shanti, where she's constantly, giving him some money and she's giving him some emotional support, and she's in his corner because she truly believes in Jannard and wants Jannard to succeed. So I'm just like, well, I don't know. I don't know if he will succeed or not. And then you look at Vic. Vic is still like an emotional wreck because after the death of Gloria, so he's not, you know, at the best. He's not at his best because he's trying to figure things out. And then you have like Walter, where he's like, all right, he's going talking to Claudia, like, hey, I got this deal, this business deal for you. And then he's talking to Vic, trying to like get his head on straight. And then you see like Vic Vic is just like he's not like, again, he's not himself, so he's robbing stores, he's getting sucked off by a horse. And then he's talking to Tommy, and he's just like, well, I'll let you know about that whole who killed Liliana situation. And then it's just like a whole thing with Vic. And I like towards the ending where Vic was explaining, well, talking at Gloria's grave, where he was just like, he's gonna destroy everything that Walter built from the inside because he felt that, yeah, he took his heart, he took his love away from him, so now he's gonna get revenge, which is perfect because this is gonna set up a very interesting tidbit for his, maybe his revenge. Like I would say, like going on in a few episodes later, like his revenge on destroying everything from the inside, while Claudia wants to have her share and her piece of the pie, where she's even screwing, she's screwing some people just to get some information on what's going on. But the thing is, it's like now that Walter chose Vic over her, she's more not quite there in the situation. She's not quite there at the moment, so she's kind of like left out of the loop. So that, oh man, like, and then I like how he said at the end when he's just like, nah, this is a man's thing. Ain't no woman working here. I was like, yo, what's wrong with this man? Like every time he talks, I just like, oh man, this guy. But then we got my man Tommy. Tommy just, he's still trying to like squeeze his way into like the connection with the Mexican cartel. And I like the fact that Miguel said to Tommy, because I guess like one of Miguel's guys was just, I guess, talking about like Julio for a minute, and I was like, oh yeah, I ain't remember hearing that name in a while. And he's just like, yeah, from Queens and this and that or whatever. So he's like, how you know Julio? But then later on, that's when Miguel says, yeah, I got ears everywhere. So now that I guess Miguel is caught up to speed, where he's just like, okay, like he lost his girl, he lost his friend, he lost his business. So he's caught up to speed about, okay, like who Tommy is and about like his little organization that he had in New York. So I'm like, all right, so he's caught up to speed. And then you see like more interesting characters for like on Miguel's side, where I guess you get to see his mother, right, or mother figure who's like talking to him like, listen, like I don't know who that guy is. You need to be wary of him. And then you see him talking to like this other guy. I guess it's you could say his boss, right? I guess his boss, and he was explaining to him like, "Yo, the Serbs, they coming after us," and then he's even telling him like, "Nah, maybe you should hold off on the Serbs, and if you don't listen, then I'm gonna have my way with your sister. My guys is gonna have their way with her, and then eventually she's gonna be dead." So I'm like, okay, so we seeing how Miguel is the boss, but he's not really the boss. So I'm like, okay, so he's an underling. He's a boss, but he's still an underling. So I'm like, okay, right? And then Tommy and Diamond come up with this plan of trying to like take power for themselves. Try to like take power for themselves and try to like get into a better position for themselves. So I'm like, all right, that's fair. That's fair. And then Diamond has a new female who she's a cop. So this is good because I've always said like they're gonna need like maybe some law enforcement on the inside, like somebody to like what's going on. So now that Diamond has her little cop friend, maybe she can help him out. Maybe she could like if she hear any word like hey let Diamond know on what's going on. So I'm like all right, good on Diamond. But man, it's just you looking at all of the pieces. You could see like certain situations that can actually happen, but then it's just like when you look at like Diamond and then you look at Jannard and the whole like CBI treason, like the beef and the war that's going on between them. It's just like what is Jannard actually gonna do? Because Jannard is stuck. He doesn't really have much going on besides Shanti and maybe some of his guys, because he even told him, she was just like, some of your guys don't really respect you. They don't really respect you because it's like, first you said you're gonna go to war with Tommy, but then you backing out, and you're not proving yourself as a leader, as what you claim to be. So you have maybe some guys that probably like, screw you. We should just go back over to where Diamond is at, because it seems like everything is going well over there compared to sticking with you over here. So, but then not at the end, but like going like further beyond, you had I guess like Walter talking to like Vic about like the plans of, because he wanted to bring him in the first time, where he was just like, well, maybe if we was to like sell the pills, because he's not doing well either, because his pill game isn't running well and he's not really making money. So he's trying to figure a way of paying back the debt that he owes. But again, like nobody's really buying his pills. And then some business came along and it was just like, oh, like sell stepped on pills, sell like defaulted pills. And it's just like that's not what he wants to do, because he's trying to make like still keep his business and still make money, but not sell defected pills and shit. So it's just like he's not doing too well either. So I mean, we're gonna see if there's gonna be any sort of assistance from maybe like the Flynn, like Walter and maybe Jannard. We don't know, because again, they both kind of like stuck in a situation where both can actually end up dead. And I think if they work together, maybe if they decide to like work together, then maybe they can help each other out of prolonging their imminent doom, right? So that's going to be quite interesting. And then again, you're going to have like a Claudia who's really pissed off about everything. Like, he screwed her again after Vic warned her, but then he basically screwed her too. He's just like, if I'm in, she's out. So, oh man, poor Claudia. She just cannot get a break. That woman cannot get. She's screwing dudes just to get information, and she still can't get a break. I'm like, damn. But overall, let me know what you guys thought of this episode. All right, like, do you think this episode was good? Well, what are your thoughts on Tommy? Like, what do you think, like, other little crazy ideas that he's doing? I mean, we saw the boy get shot. I'm like, oh shit, my boy got shot, but he ain't gonna die. He took a little scrape to the stomach, a little scrape, right? And then Maria patching him up, and she's just like, man, I can't do this with you. He's like, come on, son, what am I doing? Like, he's still trying to get with her, but we know eventually that's gonna happen. But man, it's so much stuff that's gonna happen. And then you saw at the end where one of Jannard's guys, did a little misfire. 8-year-old girl, I think, or little girl got popped, right? Like she died. So now the task force coming in. So all of this could have been avoided. But overall, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you all in the next one.